Hello, my friends. It's great to see you again. In today's episode, we will talk about something many learners struggle with: understanding English movies without using subtitles. Watching English movies can be exciting, but also difficult. The actors often speak fast. Some words are hard to catch. It's easy to miss important parts of the conversation. One moment you understand, then the next part sounds too quick or unclear. This can make watching movies stressful instead of fun. But don't worry, many English learners face this problem in the beginning. The good news is you can improve your listening skills, and you can enjoy English movies without subtitles step by step. Before we look at how to do this, I want to share a small story with you. When I was 19 years old, one night a friend brought a Hollywood movie. I don't even remember the name now, but I remember the feeling. And a small group of us sat together in one room to watch it. We were all studying English. We all thought our English was getting better. We had been studying for years. We knew grammar rules. We had memorized many words. We felt ready. The movie started, and in the first 3 minutes, I understood almost nothing. Not because the actors were speaking quietly, not because the sound was bad, but because the English in that room are coming from real people at real speed with real feelings. It was completely different from the English I had been studying. It was much faster than I expected. The words connected together in ways I had never heard before. People talked over each other. They cut sentences short. They laughed in the middle of words. Nobody spoke the way my textbook said they would. So I did what I think many of you have done before. I pretended. I laughed when people laughed. I looked serious when the scene was serious. I nodded slowly, like I understood everything. For 2 hours, I sat there and acted like I was following the story. But the truth was, I was just watching people move their mouths and make sounds I could not understand. And when the film ended, my friend looked at me and said, "Great film, right?" And I said, "Yes, very good." 3 simple words, but they were not true because I understood almost nothing. That night, when I was alone, I didn't just feel frustrated. I felt something deeper. I felt like all my effort was useless. All those years of studying, all the grammar books, all the vocabulary lists, they did not help me understand real English. It felt like I was preparing for a test, not for real life. Maybe you know this feeling. You study hard. You do many exercises. You think you are improving. But when you watch a real English movie or listen to real people, everything disappears. The words are too fast. The sounds are different. The sentences don't sound like what you learned. And you start to think, what is wrong with me? I want to tell you something very clearly. Nothing is wrong with you. Your brain is not the problem. Your memory is not the problem. The real problem is this. No one taught you how real English sounds in real life. Real English is fast, connected, and sometimes unclear. It is very different from textbook English. That night, I started to understand this truth. And today, I want to share it with you so you don't feel lost again. Here is something I believe for a long time, and maybe you believe it too. You think, if I study more, one day everything will become clear. If I learn more words, practice more grammar, and watch more YouTube videos, one day I will watch an English movie and understand everything. No subtitles, no confusion, just clear English. You think that day will come, you just need more time. I understand this feeling because I had it too. But today, I want to tell you something honest. That day will not come from studying alone. I know many people who study English for 5 or even 10 years, but they still cannot follow a movie without subtitles. It's not because they're lazy or not smart. It's because they used the wrong method. They studied, but they did not train their ears for real English. And real English sounds very different from what you learn in class. Think about your lessons. When a teacher speaks, They speak slowly, they separate words, and they use simple vocabulary. They repeat important ideas, so everything is clear and easy to understand. This is good for learning, but this is not how people speak in real life. Now think about a movie. A character says something very fast, and before you can understand, another character answers. Sometimes people even laugh in the middle of a sentence, so you cannot hear clearly. The music is loud, and some people speak with a strong accent. Nobody waits for you, and nobody repeats what they say. They also don't speak slowly just because you are learning English. This is the gap. It is the gap between the English you learn in class and the English you hear in real movies. And this gap feels very big, especially when you are still learning. So why does it feel so difficult? The reason is simple. In real English, people do not say every word clearly and separately, like in textbooks. Instead, they connect words together and they speak very fast. Sometimes 2 or 3 words sound like only one word. Let me show you what I mean. For example, I am going to often becomes gonna. Want to becomes wanna. This is not lazy English. This is real English. This is how people speak in daily life. And it is not only English. In every language, including your own language, people also connect words when they speak. The only difference is that your ears are already used to hearing it in your language, so you don't notice it. But in English, your ears are still learning. Not because you are slow, and not because you are bad at English. It is simply because nobody has shown you this part clearly before. And that is why movies feel so hard to understand. Now, I want to tell you something that really surprised me when I first learned it. Native English speakers were born speaking English, and they have used it every day of their lives, but they still miss things when they watch movies. Yes, they miss words, they rewind scenes, and sometimes they turn on subtitles too. I know this may sound strange or even impossible, but it is true. I have talked to many native speakers, and they all told me the same thing. Some movies are simply hard to understand. Sometimes the actors speak too quietly. Sometimes the background music is too loud. And sometimes the accent is very strong. Even for them, it can be difficult. That is why subtitles exist. Subtitles are not only for learners. They are there because real spoken English is fast, connected, emotional, and sometimes messy. So it is not always easy to catch, even for people who have heard English since they were babies. So now I want to ask you something. When you watch an English movie and you don't understand some words, how do you feel? Do you feel embarrassed? Do you feel like your English is not good enough? If you feel that way, please stop. You are not failing. You are going through the same experience that everyone has, even native speakers. The only difference is that their brain has had many years of listening to real English, so it can recognize patterns more easily. Your brain is still learning these patterns, and that is completely normal. In fact, every time you listen, every time you try to understand, your brain is improving. So don't think this is a weakness. This is the process. It is real work, honest work, and step by step, it will help you understand more and more. Let me tell you about someone I want you to think about. Her name is Sophia. Sophia is 23 years old. She has been learning English since she was a child, so her English is quite good. She can read simple articles, write emails to people in other countries, and have slow conversations in English. Most of the time, she can understand. But when it comes to movies, everything changes. Movies feel like a completely different world for her. 6 months ago, someone gave her very simple advice. Just watch English movies. It sounded easy, so she decided to try. Every evening, she sat down, turned off the subtitles, and tried to follow the story. On the first night, it was very hard. She could only catch a few words. On the second night, nothing changed. After 1 week, she started to feel something she did not expect. It was not just confusion, it was also loneliness. She was sitting alone in a quiet room, watching people talk, laugh, and react. But she could understand almost nothing. It felt like there was a wall between her and the movie, and she could not break it. She started to feel tired and a little sad because she thought, I studied English for so many years, so why is this still so difficult? After 1 month, she gave up and turned the subtitles back on. She told herself, maybe later, maybe when my English is better, I will try again. But here is the truth Sophia did not know. The problem was never her English level. The problem was her method. Just turning off subtitles and trying to understand everything is not real learning. It is like sitting in front of a problem and hoping it will fix itself. And hope does not build skill. It only builds frustration and makes you feel stuck. What Sophia really needed was not better English, but a better way to learn. She needed a method that helps her understand step by step, not all at once. And the method I am going to share with you now, if Sophia had known it 6 months ago, those evenings would not feel lonely or frustrating. They would feel clear, possible, and even enjoyable. The method is actually very simple. You watch the same film 3 times, but each time you watch it in a different way and with a different goal. I know this may sound a little boring at first, but trust me, the second time you watch a film, it doesn't feel the same anymore. You start to notice new details, new words, new emotions. And by the third time, you will discover even more things that you completely missed before. The first time you watch, you only have one job: understand the story. That's it. You can use subtitles in your own language if you need to, or English subtitles if you prefer. But do not stop the film, do not study, and do not take notes. Just watch it like you are watching for fun. Let your brain relax and follow the story, the characters, their feelings, and their problems. This step is more important than it seems. When your brain understands the story and knows who the characters are and what they want, it becomes much easier to understand the language. The story works like a map. Without the map, you feel lost. But with the map, you know where you are going. The second time, you watch the film in a different way. Now you only use English subtitles. This time, you can stop, pause, and go back. When you hear a sentence that sounds strange or different from what you expected, stop right there. Listen again. Then listen one more time. After that, try to say it out loud. Try to copy the sound as closely as possible. This is where real learning begins, not when you only understand something, but when you try to use it yourself. This is also a good time to write down new words, but only the important ones. You don't need to write every word, because that will make you tired and slow. Instead, focus on words that you hear 2 or 3 times, or phrases that feel natural and useful in real life. And here is one very important tip. Don't write only the word, write the whole sentence. A single word is easy to forget, but a word inside a sentence, especially a sentence from a scene you remember said by a character you know, will stay in your memory much longer. During this second step, I also want you to try a special technique called shadowing. This is one of the best ways to improve your listening and speaking at the same time. Here is how it works. Choose a short part of the film, maybe 10 or 15 seconds, just a few sentences. Listen to it carefully first. Then play it again, and this time, speak at the same time as the actor, not after at the same time. Try to follow their speed, their rhythm, and the way their voice goes up and down. At the beginning, it will feel difficult. You may be too slow, you may miss some words, and you may feel a little uncomfortable. That is completely normal. Everyone feels like that at first. But this difficulty is actually a good sign. It means your ears and your mouth are starting to work together in a new way. That's how learning happens. So keep going. Practice the same short part again and again. 10 seconds. Repeat, until it starts to feel more natural. And it will, step by step. The third time you watch, or when you watch the same scene again, turn off the subtitles. This time, don't try to understand everything. Just ask yourself, how much can I understand now? Is it better than before? You will see a difference. Some words you didn't hear before will start to sound clear. Long, fast sentences will feel slower and easier to follow. You may not understand everything, and that's okay. But you will understand more than before, and that feeling is really special. When sounds start to make sense, when English feels clearer, it means your brain is learning and improving step by step. Sophia finally found a method that worked for her. She went back to the same movie she had given up on before. This time, she followed a simple plan. She watched the movie 3 times over 2 weeks. First, she watched with subtitles to understand the story. Then she watched again, still with subtitles, but she paid more attention to how people spoke. On the third time, she turned off the subtitles. She watched about 20 minutes. It was not perfect, but something was different. She could follow the story. She could understand the jokes. Now, let me talk about how to choose the right films, because this is very important. If you're just starting, do not choose a difficult film. Do not start with something too fast, or something with many different accents, or something where people talk over each other. That will make you feel lost. And when you feel lost, you cannot learn well. So start simple. A very good choice for beginners is a sitcom. A sitcom is a short TV comedy about everyday life. In sitcoms, people talk about normal things like going to work, eating dinner, or talking with friends. The words are common, the sentences are short, and the emotions are easy to understand just by watching the actors' faces. Sometimes you may think, this is too easy. I want something more difficult. But try to ignore that feeling. Right now, your goal is not to watch something impressive. Your goal is to understand real English, natural, everyday English at a speed your brain can follow. As you keep watching and practicing, it will slowly become easier. You will start to understand more without trying too hard. Then, step by step, you can move to more difficult films. You can watch longer conversations, stronger emotions, and more complex stories. One day, even fast speech and different accents will not stop you anymore. It is not easy, but it is possible if you keep going. I also want to be honest with you. Your progress will not always feel clear. Some weeks you may feel like nothing is changing. You may listen to the same sentence many times and still not understand it. You may close your laptop feeling tired or even a little sad. That is completely normal. That is part of learning. But then, one day, and this moment is different for everyone, something will change. You will watch a scene, and suddenly you understand it. No subtitles, no stopping, it just happens. And you will hear a word that you have practiced for many days, and you will understand it in a real sentence, at real speed. And you will feel surprised. It feels like seeing a friend in a crowded place. That small moment is very special. It tells you, I am improving. I am getting closer. That moment is real. And it will come to you too. After you finish watching, do one more simple thing. Take just 5 minutes and speak out loud in English. Don't write, don't translate, just open your mouth and talk about what you watched. You can say something very easy, like, today I watched a movie about a family. The father was very funny. My favorite part was when he tried to cook dinner and everything went wrong. That is already enough. You don't need perfect grammar or difficult words. If there are some words you cannot remember right now, that's okay. Those are the words you can learn and practice tomorrow. And if you have a friend who is also learning English, you can watch the same movie and talk about it together. When you say a word out loud, when you use it in a real moment with a real person, it becomes part of your memory much more strongly than when you only listen or read. Speaking helps your brain connect ideas, sounds, and a meaning in a natural way. Now, I want to share the most important idea in today's episode. Many people watch English movies as if it were a test. They turn off subtitles, they sit quietly, and they try very hard to understand everything. They wait and hope they will understand. But when they don't understand enough, they feel upset. They think, I failed. My English is not good enough. I really want you to stop thinking like this, because watching movies is not a test. It is a way to learn, step by step, in a relaxed and natural way. A film is not a test. A film is a place to practice your English. You are not watching to prove what you already know. You are watching to learn new things you don't know yet. So every time you don't understand something, it is not a failure. It only means your brain has not learned it yet. And the only way to learn is very simple. Go back, watch again, listen again, and try again. Don't stop too early. I know this from my own experience. For 9 years, I went to a hotel near my home every morning before school just to talk to foreign visitors in my broken English. Many times, I did not understand them. I had to ask them to repeat, sometimes 2 times, sometimes 3 times. I felt embarrassed. I felt slow. But something interesting happened. Every word I didn't understand at first, every word I had to ask again, became a word I remembered for a very long time. So those uncomfortable moments were actually the most important moments. The difficulty was not my enemy. The difficulty was my teacher. Watching English movies without subtitles will feel hard. And that is okay. Hard does not mean impossible. Hard means you are learning something real, something useful for real life. The distance between where you are now and where you want to be is not as far as you think if you keep coming back and keep practicing a little every day. Right now, your ears are learning. Even while you're listening to this, even when you're not sure you understand every word, your brain is still working. So don't worry too much. Just keep going, step by step. Understanding will come, slowly but surely. Now, let me tell you the truth. Learning English through movies really works, but only if you choose the right level for yourself. If the movie is too easy, you feel comfortable, but you don't grow. And if the movie is too difficult, you feel lost, frustrated, and slowly you want to give up. That's why many people fail, not because they are not smart, not because they are lazy, but because they start at the wrong level and they expect too much, too fast. Choosing the right movie for your level is one of the most important things if you want to improve your English effectively. Many people watch movies every day, but they don't really improve. And after some time, they start to feel confused. They think, why am I watching so much but still not understanding? The reason is simple. They choose the wrong level. The movie is either too easy, so they don't learn anything new, or too difficult, so their brain cannot follow. Today, I will show you how to choose the right movies from beginner to advanced, so learning English becomes easier, more natural, and more enjoyable. Let's start with the beginner level, A1 to A2. At this level, you don't need difficult words or fast speaking. You need something clear, simple, and close to daily life. One of the best choices is the TV show Friends. This is one of the most famous sitcoms in the world. The conversations are simple, natural, and very close to real life. The situations are easy to understand and, more importantly, easy to use in real communication. For me, this is the number one show to learn English speaking. I had a friend who asked me how to improve communication. I told him something very simple. I only learned from one show, Friends. And this is important. When you already have a basic level, you don't need too many resources. You need one good source and you go deep. What makes Friends special is not just the language. It is funny, meaningful, and very real. Because it talks about daily life, everything you hear can be used in real conversations. And here is the key idea. I watched this show 6 times and I never felt bored. This is very important because learning English is not about watching once. It is about repeating many times, but still enjoying it. That's why I call it repetition without boredom. Another great choice for beginners is Modern Family. This show is also very funny, but it feels more modern. It focuses on family life, relationships, and daily problems. Each episode is short, and each episode teaches you something different. The language is still natural, but more expressive, more emotional. It helps you understand how people really speak today, not just in textbooks. But here is something very important you need to remember. At the beginner level, your goal is not to understand everything. This is a big mistake many learners make. They think, if I don't understand 100%, I'm not good enough. That is not true. Your real goal is simple. Get familiar with the sound of English. Train your ears. Let your brain slowly recognize patterns. Even if you understand only 50%, that is already very good. That means your brain is working. That means you are improving. Now, let's move to the intermediate level, B1 to B2. At this level, learning English starts to feel different. You don't just learn words anymore, you start to notice something frustrating. You know many words, but when people speak fast, you still don't understand. That's normal. The problem is not your vocabulary. The problem is that your brain is not used to real speed, real emotion, and real conversation yet. So at this stage, you need more variety. You need faster speech, more emotions, and more real-life expressions. You are not just learning English, you are learning how people really communicate in real life. You can try movies from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. These movies are exciting, but more importantly, they show natural reactions. People interrupt each other. They speak quickly. They joke. They show emotion. That is real English. But don't watch only for action. Watch how they speak. Listen carefully to how they respond, how they change their tone, and how they connect words together. Another very good choice is How I Met Your Mother. This show is similar to Friends, but the language is faster and more creative. You will hear more jokes, more storytelling, and longer conversations. Sometimes you will feel lost. You will not understand everything, and that is okay. At this level, your goal is not to understand every word. Your goal is to follow the conversation and catch the main idea. Finally, at the advanced level, C1 to C2. If you want to really challenge your brain, you need more than just simple English. You need complex language, different accents, and deeper topics. This is the stage where you don't just learn English anymore. You start to living English. You can try Sherlock. The language is very fast, very smart, and sometimes difficult to follow. The characters speak quickly, and they don't always explain everything clearly. This forces your brain to think and listen at the same time. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but that discomfort is where real learning happens. Or you can watch Game of Thrones. This show has many different accents, complex vocabulary, and long conversations. It is not easy, but that is exactly why it helps you grow. In real life, people don't speak in one clear accent. They speak in many different ways. So when you train with this kind of content, you are preparing yourself for real communication. But here is something very important you need to understand. Even at this level, you do not need to understand everything. Even native speakers sometimes use subtitles. So if you miss some words, don't feel bad. It doesn't mean you're not good enough. It only means your brain is still learning. Instead of trying to understand every word, focus on the main idea. Focus on the story. Focus on the feeling of the conversation. Because in real life, that's how communication works. You don't need 100% to understand the message. Start at your level. Build your confidence step by step. And one day, without even noticing, you will watch a movie without subtitles and you will smile. Because you finally understand. Thank you for listening. Now go find a film and this time, watch it like a learner, not like a stranger. Goodbye for now.
Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional video that we thoughtfully selected for you.